So your Lego city is finally starting to look amazing, and while you're installing several of the lighting components that you've installed, bam, you rip one out of the plug, and now you don't know what to do. First things first, do not throw it away. If any wire is left in the plug, remove it with a small pick. You could even use tweezers or some really good needle nose pliers. If the wire itself is damaged in any way, you're going to take some cutters and cut you off a nice clean end to work with. Now I'm going to show you two ways that you can reinsert it. This first example, I am using a pair of tweezers. Any type of tweezers will work. You just lay the wire on top of the plug, take the tip of the tweezers, and just kind of push it back down into place. Make sure it is fully inserted into the plug, and you are good to go. It should not pull back out. Another way to do it is you can pick it up like I'm doing here. Again, you just line up the wire as best as you can, and then what I do is I just take my fingernail and just kind of push it down in that first little nub on the end of the plug, and it should hold into place. Once you get that fully pulled down in, and I'm hoping you can see that here, I'm going to take that small screwdriver that I showed you, and I'm just going to finish pushing the wire down inside of the plug. And once it's fully inserted, you should be good to go. Now, with the screwdriver, it takes a little bit more time, but again, if you take your time and play with it, it should fully back insert. These plugs are 100% reusable, unless you totally damage the plug by squeezing it with a pair of pliers or something. These plugs are very durable and they're very easy to repair. If there's any insulation that's sticking out, you want to make sure you clean that out of the way too. But as you can see, I can now tug on the wire and it's not going anywhere. Now let's test it. I'm over at my computer station where I have a power supply ready to go. And this is what we repaired, was that lightsaber. And again, if you're looking at this, you can see that I have that little extra little bit of black wire to show you that it was the exact same wire. But I want to quickly explain something about the plugs themselves and how to insert them, because I think a lot of people don't really understand the plug itself. When you're looking at the plug, you can see you have a wide side and then you have a narrow side. The wide side is for the front part of the pins. And again, I'm trying to show you, see there's the little pins in there on the wide side at the front. And then the back is the narrow side. And that narrow side is the side that you're going to put where you can see the wire in the plug that I'm showing you here. And these plugs, when you insert them the correct direction, they should practically fall right into place like I'm showing you here. You don't really have to fight it or anything, but once you get it mostly in, you just take your fingernail and finish plugging the light in. You don't have to force it. You don't have to push real hard. It should practically fall in the plug. And when you go to unplug these, do not tug on the wire. That is the worst thing you can possibly do. There's a little notch right there at the back side of the plug. And if you take your fingernail and simply put it under that notch, the plug will pop right out. And if you don't have long fingernails or you can't get a fingernail underneath it, just get yourself a good pair of tweezers and you can pull it right out. And again, I'm showing you, these plugs will practically fall into place. You should not be fighting when you are inserting these. Now, what if you actually damaged this plug altogether and you have to replace it? Well, that's nothing to worry about as well, because if you go to Google and search for O2SUR-32S, it is going to quickly bring up DigiKey, which is a website that you can buy these connectors yourself from. That is the exact connectors that I am using. And if you scroll down and look, you'll see that you can buy them in quantities of 1 and up to 2,500. If you're only going to buy one, they're 56 cents. And you can see they offer different prices depending on if you're going to buy in bulk or not. Hopefully this is going to help save you a little money and help protect your lighting products. Don't forget to check out my website for a ton of amazing new products getting added constantly every couple weeks.